on this episode of DNR Auto.
Oh, is it that kind of time now? Oh, stop. A leaker. You got a leaker. All right. Off of that conversation, on to the new conversation. We're back at it again today, guys. A little bit more well rested. We've got the thing fired up, so now it's time to move all the wires. We're gonna use the MSD box. So Justin's gonna mount that up, probably rewire all that. I've already come over here and redone the fuel lines because they were just really sloppy looking. I got the fan wired up, so the fan's working now. Putting water and coolant in it. Little mix up there. And I mean, we're getting really close. We got to redo all the fluids. Maybe today we'll change the oil, the trans fluid, put gear oil in the rear. We don't have anything in the rear yet. And really, now it's kind of the nuts and bolts of making it drive. Because then once we make it drive, then we can shake it down and see what's wrong with it. You know, is everything working right? Is it getting hot? Is it not turning right? We still got to clearance the front fenders. We don't know how much yet, though. And honestly, it's kind of sad. You know what I'm thinking, Justin?
Yeah.
If I put the good springs on the front, we might not have to clearance the front fenders at all.
Yeah.
If it lifts that front end up. So maybe I'll check out how much a set of trick springs costs. I got the trick springs on the Nova, and they're really dope. And they're, yeah, I think the Nova ones are the same as the S10 ones, really. So maybe we'll do something like that. Put the trick springs on the front. Maybe it'll raise the front enough that we don't even have to clearance the front tire or clearance the front fender. And honestly, it'll probably ride better than everything else too, because them springs, if you guys saw in our last videos, they've just been heated and melted to where they shrank, and that's why it's so low. And we're not going to get rid of the lowness of it. I'll do the same thing I did with the Nova. I'll cut a coil off the trick spring like I'm allowed to. You can cut one full coil. That'll bring the ride height down, but still make the trick spring function as necessary. So maybe I'll get on the horn, see if I can get one of those ordered up, a set of them springs, and go from there. But now we're back to wire and fire, except this time when we fire, we should be able to leave it running for like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Actually put some heat in the motor, then we got to go back, tighten all the header bolts. There's a bunch of stuff that's got to be done. But now that we have the cooling system in place, the fan hooked up, everything, we can leave it running and then check the temperature and see if that cooling system is actually working properly or not. So let's get to it. Home stretch, baby. Home stretch. Pulled the drain plug out of the trans, and I noticed it looked a little weird, and I'm like, oh man, that's wild. Oh, look at all that junk on there. That magnetic thing working, buddy. Oh, this trans has seen better days. There's quite a bit of gunk on there. That's the trans.
Oh shit, I thought that was old.
Look at that. See how much came off of that? Nope, that's the trans. She might have some metal shavings in her. Dave! If you're watching this video, we need your help. We got a lot of shavings on this trans. We're still gonna send it though. Also today, I wanted to figure something out. We've never checked. I know that the rear differential cover has been off. I can tell when I took it off by the amount of Permatex and stuff was in there. It wasn't factory stuff. I don't know that anybody ever did a gear change. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mark the tire and we're gonna mark the drive shaft. And the way that you do this, I believe, is you spin one full rotation of the tire and then you count how many times the drive shaft turns. And that'll give us an approximation of our gear ratio. So let's try it. You ready? You counting? Oh, count out loud, dog.
1.
Oh.
2. 3.
3. It's probably
308.
308 gear. There we go. That's how we figured that out. Probably not going to be advantageous to what I'm doing with the truck, but we'll make it work. We'll just rev the piss out of it, right? Whatever.
Just use nitrous.
Just use nitrous. It'll make it spin. It did this earlier, and I didn't realize it because the heat was on and I had some music on. I thought I heard that thing clicking. I didn't realize it was making the fan go like that.
This road was built on the site of a Native American graveyard. It's common for families living on this road to find orbs and shadows in the pictures they take.
What road is this?
Right here. Restless spirits seem to be trying to find their peace.
I think they're restless with our fan right now. Oh, is it that kind of time now? Oh, stop. You got a Laker.
Both ends.
That's a good thing.
Calm down, killer.
Just beat it.
Yeah,
You
usually.
gotta tighten them.
This one never got tightened.
Strip line around, I don't know if it was going down the hose. But the right size, man?
No. Somehow, the guy who owns a fuel line and fitting company managed to not tighten the fuel lines back up. SHITBOX Supply, home of the shit happens, no leak guarantee. If at any time you find your new line or fittings leaking, just give us a call. We'll send you a new one. After I made it pretty. Not gonna point any elbows or anything, but that one was all me. How mad are you gonna be when there's a windshield in that and you can't adjust the timing like that anymore?
Happen? I'm gonna go do that and I'm about to break my neck trying to get through the windshield.
Neutral safety switch works.
Yeah, that's good news.
We have no start.
Does it work too well? We got good news, bad news. So good news, we have been kicking ass on getting this thing cleaned up. I hate to say it, minus the problem he's having back there, but it's the wiring, the fuel lines, everything is really cleaner than the Nova, cleaner than Fool's Gold. So Justin was doing a bunch of wiring, so I spent a bunch of time doing little stuff, remaking the fuel lines, you know, moving the nitrous lines, screwing the solenoid back in, putting the grounds on, hooking up the fan in the back. I did the vent, you know, for the fuel cell, ground the fuel cell, did a bunch of stuff, and everything just really cleaning up a bunch of little stuff. So that way it's all, you know, easily accessible, looks nice, doesn't look like a bag of ass, all that kind of stuff. And we did fire it up. That was the last like video clip there. It fired right up and everything was almost good to go, but we're having some kind of an issue with the starter. So it looks like the starter might be chewing up the flex plate a little bit. We've got a different starter we were gonna try. We're supposed to get that tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get that starter. Maybe we won't have to replace the flex plate. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. but I'm probably going to make a call over to Hughes and probably just get one ordered anyway, so that way we have one just in case we find we do need to replace it. But I'm hoping that other starter helps us out a bit, and then having an extra flex plate is not going to be that's not going to be an issue. That's going to be a good thing to have floating around. But as you can see, it looks much cleaner, much better than the live videos of when we went, started it up live, and it started right up. So everything's hooked up well. We still got to do light wiring, headlights, tail lights. Probably not going to do blinkers, but we do want, light coming out of the front of this thing so we can drive it at night and all that kind of stuff. Still waiting on the windshield gasket. This windshield, it's up there in the rafter somewhere, but the windshield itself goes in with the gasket. It's not like you can't just glue it in or anything. So we're still waiting on that. Thanks, post office. You guys are the best. Psych. And then really we got to heat cycle it, shake it down. Maybe tomorrow, depending on how the starter works out, and if this haunted ass fan stops acting up, we'll be able to take it around the block a little bit. So really, I just kind of want to keep cracking to get to the point where taking around the block a little bit like that is going to be the next thing. I'm not sure if that means I'm going to start wiring up headlights or I don't know. I got to look at the list. We still got to bleed the brakes, but that's a couple person deal anyway. So still got a few more things to hook up, a few more wires to make clean, and then at some point I'm going to have to start getting all the nitrous stuff over here so that way we can mount a nitrous bottle and run those lines and do all that kind of stuff. I don't know that the nitrous is going to be used anytime soon. Based on what little math we've done of this, the rear gear ratio is really going to kill us. But, as far as it just being a fun time, it's definitely going to be a fun time. It'll roast the tires. It'll be a fun time and make enough power, everything. It should. We're probably guessing that it's going to end up a little bit lighter than the Nova. So we'll see how that all pans out. I mean, we still got to put our, more interior stuff in, the other seat, roll bar, all this other kind of stuff. So we're going to be adding weight before we're subtracting it, that's for sure. Maybe try to figure out some kind of weight bar solution for the rear end as well. A lot to happen, but man, does this thing look beautiful. I'm going to take some sexy ass slow-mo shots of just how the engine bay and everything else is starting to come together, because it's really, it's looking nice. Definitely, like having Justin working on the wiring, and I didn't have anything exactly specific to do, but to take that time to just clean some stuff up a little bit, make it nicer, remake that fuel line, do that, it's really helping it come together. And it looks like a total pile of crap, but when you look at it, you can tell just attention to detail. Even, all these hose clamps are, all in the same position up, so you can just easily access them with a screwdriver, and you can get them out and all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep making it happen. We'll be driving this thing in no time. Vroom, vroom. No, it didn't sound a little different. Vroom, vroom.
On the next episode of DNR Auto.
I don't know what's up with this thing, but it seems like towards the end of every night it likes to fight us a little bit. So we've already swapped caps, rotors, everything, blah, blah, blah. Now we're going to a whole different distributor. We're going to put a coil on it. We're just going to try shit into